Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Immigrant Section. It's your boy Abbas Wahab saying howdy. Thank you for tuning in. We got another banger episode for you today. In the studio, my homie, filmmaker, comedian, fucking just straight up Nigerian fob. Right, my guy? Conrad Osei, what do you say, homie?
Bro, I'm chilling, man. I've been here 10 years. I feel like I've passed fob status. Now I'm one of the boys.
I was gonna say your nostrils flared when I heard fob. I'm like, oh, I pissed this nigga off. You're like, fob? Are you gonna do me like that?
I just hope immigration is not listening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're like, yeah, imagine.
It's like, did I hear fob? Did I hear a fucking fob?
What's that agency in America that surveils all the NES?
ICE?
And something. ICE gets Mexicans.
ICE is the Mexican.
ICE gets Mexicans. NS is like, ICE is the one who finds alien Mexicans.
National security.
It's NS or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're always scanning for like code word, like terrorism, blow up shit. Canada, they're just scanning for fob. They're like, fob?
Fob? Did I hear fob?
We just got to trace a fob on a podcast streaming out of Toronto, Ontario.
Did I hear my family? Did I hear my family is back home?
Yeah, right. There's someone sending money back via Western Union. They're not paying taxes on this. That's why they're doing cash jobs.
Oh shit.
What's going on, homie? Thanks for reaching, bro.
Man, thanks for having me. You guys have a sick house, man. It's my first time at the crib. The studio's looking lit.
It's nice, huh?
Good work.
Yo, people can't tell above us, but this light is soft. Look at that shit.
Right,
this is a soft light, right?
Oh, that's the ultimate light is the soft light.
Go back to an episode before this. All you're going to notice is just like, for me, like glare right here and a glare right here. Like, whoa.
It's that violent light, you know?
Bro, that's something
funny.
You don't, until you get into like film and photography and shit, you realize all film and photography is lighting.
It's all lighting.
Literally, it's all lighting.
It's mostly lighting, bro.
Like on set, 9 hours. If a set it takes 12 hours to do what we need, 4 of those to 5 of those hours are shifting lighting setups.
Pretty much, bro. Even the camera, they don't even care anymore. Like they do handheld or whatever, but the lighting,
dude, it'll be like, okay, we need to sit in. Okay, all right. No. We need a shadow. It's like, okay, now there's 30 minutes before anything is gonna happen.
Yep.
Fuck.
Like fucking recreating shadows and shit. Film is so wild. The way they like just spend time trying to recreate some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it's good. It makes it look nice and stuff. I love it. But like if you break it down to like the details of it, it's just a guy trying to make shadows. Imagine
it's crazy.
that.
And that's actually the funny thing about why I think Hollywood is so much better. Because I remember there was a couple movies in Netflix that I watched during the pandemic that I was like, a couple of old one was called Beast. It was like a really good Italian one.
Oh, sure.
And I watched it and I realized in Italian cinema, every shot, even when it's night, it's like really well lit.
Yeah.
You notice that? There's something about like, it takes like an actual good director, or DP, or I don't know exactly which person on set to achieve shadows. Shadows are so much. This Italian movie, bro, they'd be doing stuff at night and there's like, in any direction they look, there's zero shadows. They are lit 100%.
He's just the guy. His first day on set.
And he's a gangster. He's like a gangster. He's like, where are they? And it's like he's fully lit. It's like, give the guy a shadow, man. Fuck.
Just glamorizing the fucking gangster and shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the Italian cinema right here.
I like watching like movies from like poor country cinema, like poor cinema. When I say poor, like Italian cinema is not poor, but like in terms of like filmmaking and shit.
Like, give me an example of the country.
Well, like if you watch like I don't know, like a Malaysian film. Yeah, it's very specific. Like
I don't think I've seen one. I've seen Ong Bak, which is Thai, right?
Ong Bak, like
that's high level. Though. That's like I think that's produced with like high money though.
But also Thailand makes good films. They're different.
They're known for.
They make great films. Thailand makes like
They had that one movie where you had the Raid Redemption.
Raid Redemption
was
Thailand.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. There's even there's so many. There's a DP from like a cinematographer from Thailand that does a bunch of like good films
in Hollywood.
Yeah, which is funny because we're talking about this because I forget his name. I can't even pronounce his name, bro. But he did DP on he works with an Italian guy, an Italian director. It's funny you just said Italian, right?
Like a big Italian director?
Big Italian. The guy that he did Call Me By Your Name. Oh, it's the same DP that did Call Me By Your Name. It's a really good gay film. It's pretty gay.
Call Me By Your Name?
Yeah, it's a really good film, but it's also really gay.
Yeah, I love that. That's what I call a fob disclaimer. It's a great film, bro. It's really gay, but it's a great film, you know? That's why you got to say that off the top, because then I'm going to be in the middle of the movie, be like, yo, this is a gay film.
It's a gay
Yo,
film, but he
Conrad,
told
put me
me.
on. Yo. Yeah, exactly. That's why you got a disclaimer.
I had a disclaimer off top.
Bro, I didn't know you fucking give me some gay-ass film. No, man, I gave you a disclaimer, bro. It's a good-ass film.
Bro, I don't watch
Just
gay
be prepared
films,
to see gay shit, but it's a great film. It's like, okay.
Oh, that's
okay.
heavy gay shit.
Yeah,
in that, bro.
you're like, thanks for the heads up.
But yeah, man. Anyway, he's sick. So they have like good cinema in Thailand. But like, I want to name like a Nigerian film, like low. But you know what I mean? Like they don't spend a lot of money on the film. They just kind of mass produce it, or like a Cambodian film, or like a.
You know what
it's
Chappelle
just
said?
a poor country. In a way.
Chappelle said when you watch poor countries' films,
Yeah.
they have to stretch $1 so far that
wow.
he's like, it's in cassette. What's it called? African something.
Yeah.
African action, like African Bollywood, essentially, we'll say.
Yeah.
He said the movies are so crazy. He just wants to go over there and give 100, 200,000 for a whole movie and just see how they make it work. Because like the way they stretch and innovate is crazy.
Bro, it's mostly no budget films.
Yeah, it'll be like, you know, here they'll have like a big camera on a dolly. So like as the character walks in, they move forward on the character.
Bro.
There they'll put probably 8 like sticks under it so it rolls.
Yeah.
So they roll it forward on sticks and shit. Like they'll figure it out and it'll be almost just as good.
Which is kind of nice, though.
the
Innovation, you know?
The resiliency. Yo, are you watching at all what's happening in Sudan?
To be honest, not completely, but there's always something happening in Sudan, bro.
It's crazy. Yeah, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always some.
It's crazy.
And there's always a website that has all the information.
Yeah. Go to help the fuck out of Sudan.org. It's never a .com. It's a .gov.
It's always
.org.
no.
.net. It can't be a .com. But
But what's happening? What's happening? I feel like I'm always interested in learning.
So there was
about
like
this.
every time there's a leader in the country, he gets ousted by a military coup, and like the new general takes over. And it's happened like time and time again.
Yeah.
There's only a small like transition period where there's like a weird transitional government. And right now the people like they did the big rise up thing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And ousted the Omar Bashir, who was like president for like 40 years, like 30 years. But right now, the general of like the military, this guy named like what's it called? Al Burhan. This guy just fucking was like, yeah, no, we're doing coup again. Like there was supposed to be a transitional government, and he just fucking kidnapped the prime minister, this guy Hamdouk, and just put him at his house. But then now they put him back at his own house. But like, but essentially they're just saying like this transitional government was threatening the stability of the country. That's why we're stepping in to like, he's just trying to become a dictator, right? And the whole country is just like, they cut the internet off. That's the craziest shit.
That's the first
when
thing,
your own government,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That means that's like, how can you try to garner our like our votes and like our love when you are like cutting communication off? You're like, we're doing this for your help, but also the basis for your communication, we're gonna cut it off so you guys don't combat us. You know what I mean? It's like you, the people, we're gonna cut the people off.
It's a very
crazy.
stupid thing. It's a crazy thing, man. And this thing happens a lot in Africa, bro. It's not the first country it's happened to. I'm sure you know this. Like,
fuck no.
It happens in every other country and at different times too. I think Sudan's one of those countries that like
we're having it late.
You're having it late, and also I feel like you guys always had a dictator. Like
always,
you know what I
we
mean?
just keep circulating them.
That's the first thing. Once you eliminate the dictatorship system, where no one can stay more than 2 to 4 years, then it'll work. Like a good example was in Ghana in like the early 90s or no, early 80s maybe.
And Ghana is considered the safest country in Africa, isn't it?
It's probably one of the safest.
I think I
it's one of
just saw it the other day that
Yeah.
it is this. It's Ghana is actually first world or second world, right? Like it's not third world by any means. I know a girl who's in Ghana. She Ubers.
Yeah.
Uber phone. Uber works.
I know white girls.
Doesn't work in Sudan. I know. I'm
Ghana.
like white girls.
Yeah.
They only go to Ghana or
Yeah,
South
they only
Africa.
go to Ghana. Yeah.
You don't say
You don't want to
Sudan.
go to like Sudan or like Liberia. No.
They're like, put a hijab on right now and step to the side.
It's free jokes.
Like this is Sharia law here. She's like, oh.
She doesn't even. Nah, I know.
You see white girls building wells in Saudi Arabia? Never.
No, they
Not
can't do
once.
that.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't want them to build wells. Like, not
They're
that
not
they
gonna-
can't build. They're just like, don't come.
They're like, we got money.
We got money.
We got water. Don't worry about it,
We'll
Susan.
hire the Bangladeshi guys. But the whole point of the whole thing is, coups are like a thing that happen, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Ghana is a good example of a good coup. So in the 70s, 80s, John Rawlins, this guy named John Rawlins, he was like a young fucking military guy, put together a committee. They did a coup. They killed like 100 people in one night. Long story.
Like all the people in power.
All the people in power, everyone that he felt was corrupt, either they exiled them or killed them, kind of thing, just took out everybody. And then he went into power and he was like, you know what? I want to make sure there's a democracy. There's like a stability.
No way.
So he did it. He was there for, I think, about 4 years. Or
And then
about
stepped
3
down.
years even. Yeah, stepped down. Maybe I'm misquoting how many years, but he was there for a short period. Stepped down, facilitated a good election. They elected a civilian president. That president stayed their own time, passed on. He retired from the military, came back in the 90s
As
a
president.
civilian.
Yeah.
Did another like 4 years or so, finished his term, quit. Not
That's
just
fucking
like,
crazy.
It's wild.
That's like
It's
that
unique,
is
though.
scenarios that never work.
Yeah.
Because once you give the motherfucker a taste of ultimate power, especially in Africa in a system where it's like corruption runs rampant,
Oh,
and
bro.
the mechanism to just take control and be like, this is mine now.
Yeah.
Like a United States general, you'll almost never see a United States general be like, the White House has been taken over. That's not going to work in the United States. You know what I mean? That's
There's
just not
too
going to work.
many bodies involved.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
there's too many systems in place. And
Yeah.
it's just like
Like,
the first world is just not primed for revolution like
Yeah.
that. But Africa, anything is possible any day. You feel it in the air. You know what I mean?
bro, if I make up my mind like today, I want to be president. I just gotta start.
You could get power,
I could-
convince
yeah.
some people, and facilitate that like in a couple of years. You know,
Bro,
which
it's
is
quite simple. Which is
re-
hard.
Exactly, it's very
Yeah.
hard. But like, I had no idea about this guy. To hear
Yeah.
that he did that, and then was like, okay, now I'm gonna facilitate a proper election. And then the next guy was like, okay, you set a good example, so I'm leaving it.
I'm
and
not
then
fucking
no
this
one
up.
ruined it.
Nobody.
That's so rare. Like you ever see like it's like when a janitor cleans a bathroom and it's clean, you know someone's gonna leave the biggest shit in that
Yeah,
toilet.
someone's waiting.
Someone's gonna
like
ruin it.
thinking about it. at the
I've
same
never
time.
seen it not ruined. So
Yeah.
that shocks me. That shocks me.
You get lucky sometimes. I feel like also it's just like I think that's the whole thing, bro. It's a bigger issue. I think it really comes from like in Africa. There's no sense of community. I think community is very
It's
individual.
tribal.
It's tribal.
It's a lot of separated communities.
Exactly, and that obviously that's the problem in Sudan. Nigeria has the same problem. Ghana has the same problem, but they were able to figure it out.
But-
South Africa, obviously, which is even worse because it's more racial.
Well, I think the more groups, the better.
I think so, but
The
I mean,
more groups in Sudan, it's like Muslim and not Muslim. So that's why they
Yeah.
had the fucking Darfur massacres
Yeah.
and the North and South split because it was like, all of you are not Muslim, but you must adhere to Islamic law. It's
Yeah.
like, but I'm not Muslim though. It's like, sorry, then fuck off. You're in this country, and most
Yeah.
of us in the North here are Muslim, so this is the law. That's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
But when you have a lot of groups, like in Nigeria, there's a bunch of groups.
yeah,
There's a bunch of groups, right?
There's
There wasn't one.
almost 50. Yeah.
There isn't one that's like 70% of the country or 60%, right?
Well, you can use if
The
you,
Igbo or what are
There's the Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. Those are the three big.
so
big
three
three.
big and many small.
Many, so many.
So that so many people facilitates you early on to be like, yo, let's
Yeah.
get on the same page on something on governance.
On governance, that's the first thing, right?
Because like in Sudan, it's like a lot of people are Muslim. So it's like one that like, or like in Iraq, when a lot of people are like Sunni and when it's Sunni versus Shia, there are
Yeah.
really no Christians. I mean, there's a couple, but
Yeah.
there's no Christian Sudanese.
But you know
That's
what's
not-
crazy? Just
Sorry. Like besides like South Sudan and stuff like that, like a lot
Yeah.
of them are Christian, but like animalistic Christian and all these tribes, and then a huge population that's just like
of just like randoms.
of Muslims.
Yeah.
But they're being like, hey, we're such a big population.
We should rule.
We
everything.
govern everything is based
Yeah.
on what most of us believe.
Yeah.
And that's like fucked up.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you gotta, if you're gonna like separate people always find something to separate themselves by. If you realize that,
Yeah,
like,
because people are tribal.
it's tribal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the moment they realize, okay, tribally everyone's on the same page,
Yeah.
someone's like, you know what, let's use religion. And then once religion becomes on the same page, they're like, you know what, let's use class or color or
class.
something. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Keep
there's
going.
always a system like that. And it happens is everywhere. India is another example of class, using class as like to separate people and stuff. You've heard of
Because divide and conquer.
the caste system.
Yes.
It's divide and conquer, and like it's a long process to like really even realize like religion is almost like man-made in a way.
It is,
because like on a spiritual level, everyone's still connected to like whatever. It's the same mind, same heart, same brain. So you can't really use that as the basis of like being like I'm more superior than you. But to like separate people for political reasons, financial reasons at the end, like social class reasons, like religion has become this thing that like it's fucking up countries, bro. Like it's not a good thing.
Because religion itself, like by default, requires you to like swear allegiance.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to be, if you can't be a half Muslim, you know what I mean? You're in this.
Yeah.
You will fight for this. It'll be a jihadi death. And
Even like
you will be granted heaven and all that
And
stuff.
all that
Like
stuff.
you, the Crusades, right? You know what I mean? It's like you
Yeah.
will die. This is God's will. This is like all that stuff.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of that, is like the U.S. is another example of a place that used religion first, and then as time went, they kind of understood what we're just talking about now, which is like at a certain point, you just gotta find new shit to like make the basis of your divide.
Classes, colors.
Then color became a thing, like because before that it was like the loyalists versus like the different churches and stuff, like the French, English, when they first all came to North America. It was all divided by religions, like Catholics versus like the Protestants.
Oh
from
yeah,
Europe
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
And it's like
And
the
then-
Catholics are probably the highest
Yeah.
or whatever, and then everyone's like lower than that. And then there's like
The Church of England came.
and then the Muslims, which
then,
is like
yeah.
the Bush religions,
Yeah.
or the Arabians, like
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then when they start coming in, they're like, okay, you know what? Now we have so many religions, we can't base it on religion.
put it
Now
that-
we'll switch it.
In the amendments,
Yeah.
or
The
what,
amendments
Bill of
are
Rights.
Christian.
One of those allows just like the right to free choice of religion.
Free
and
choice
all
of
that.
religion, yeah.
And they're like, okay, now that we've written all these, we just wrote all men shall be created equal. That's pretty vague. Let's find something in that.
Let's find something in that. And then it became race. Like, it's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it.
Well, you got to divide people. It's just like once you're high up, you got to be like,
But what's the appropriate way to divide people, though? Like,
no. I'm not saying you got to divide
I feel
people.
like
As
we
in,
should.
like for like altruistic reasons, like
Yeah.
for the good of people. No, I'm saying that for someone high up in power, it serves them to keep people divided.
Yeah.
Because then you could just play like groups as pawns. You set this group against this group. Now there's two groups. You don't have
That's
to worry
right.
so much because they're battling each other.
Yeah.
And then you set this group, or you set like divide and conquer. That's why when the
Yeah.
Jim Crow laws came about, they're like, hey, poor white people that live right next to poor black people and don't have any issues. You poor whites, now you get your own fountain. Now you get your own bathroom.
Yeah.
And then the poor whites are like,
I'm
we are
broke."
better. We are better than these. We want to keep these laws. I don't want to go
Yeah.
back to the same fountain as these motherfucking niggers. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go back to drinking water because it elevates you slightly.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to be that.
it's just a social thing, right?
It's
Like,
just a construct.
yeah,
It's just a little
it's a
couple rules
construct.
they made up. Now they're making sure that they have the votes. Like the rich people are gonna have. The poor people will have the similar interests as the rich whites now.
Yeah.
Because they made the people that were like, what difference does it make? No one cares about us. We're poor.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, but you get your own water fountain.
Yeah.
And you get treated a little
You
bit
get
better.
to
It's
use it
like,
with rich people
yeah,
and shit.
vote conservative or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Like, oh yeah, like I want to
Yeah.
exactly. Like
It's
divide and
association
conquer.
at the end of the day. It's like if you can pick the right association, then you're pretty much picking your own team, right? Like that's how people see it. And it's wild because like as time goes, it's slowly splitting into everything. Let's not go. I don't want to go too deep into it, but like talk about gender and shit. Like it's all.
Oh, now it's
you
that.
know?
Now that's a new thing.
It's-
We're
I mean-
post color. Now we went to sexuality.
Now
after
go to
color.
sexuality, exactly.
And I
It's
guess
like-
gender kind of falls under the
Under
umbrella
that same
of
umbrella.
sexuality and all that stuff.
but it's all part of a process, you know. It's just like humans trying to understand themselves just means they're always going to divide themselves into different groups. And once you're able to find a group, I mean, we're on a walk comedian, so like being a comedian is sick. If you're
it's
not
easy.
a
It's a
comedian,
small
you fucking
group.
suck.
Yeah, it's
That's
a small
my
group,
rule,
so
you
it's
know?
easy.
So it's easy. It's just like, but we're in our own pocket in a way. It's just like if you're an engineer, like you're in the engineering group. Doctors suck to you because you're like filmmakers, like this. What else? Like fucking anything. Really.
Everything. There's groups for everything. Do you hear about the 150 rule?
No.
That like 150 is the ideal tribal number of, not ideal, but maximum number where an operation begins to kind of like fray at the ends, so to speak. Like if you could have a cohesive business, a cohesive tribe, a cohesive group, community, whatever you want to call it, 150 people or less. That's that I forget what the number is called, but after that, things start to fall apart. I don't know if you've ever worked at a business that's less than 150 people.
Yeah.
You know everyone. You know who's this. You know who's good at that. You know what this person's shortcomings are. But then once you get the 200 and plus, there's just people you don't know, and you don't bother to know them because they're just not that affiliated with what your responsibilities or role is. Yeah. But at 150 and less, it's like
you kind of have to know.
It's like a community. Yeah, exactly. Like 150 or less.
Yeah. And aside, like, that's a very major point. I feel like I work at places where it's mostly below 150, and you can see the whole flow of the thing. Like, this person does this person takes over from like, you kind of just see the communication flow of things. So it's easier. You can like point to one person at a time.
Yeah, exactly. You know who's who, you know who's out. Like, it feels so much better because there's so much invisible portions of a business once it gets too big. Yeah. They were giving an example about one manufacturing company that they hire as business needs grow, but as soon as they get to 150, they make a new plant, even if it's right down the road. They keep it at 150 or less because they know this has shown that it's like there's a lot of work inefficiencies and bullshit that introduce after 150. Yeah, people are doing like the bureaucratic shit really comes into play after 150. That's why government agencies are plagued by bureaucratic bullshit. That's so big.
It's so big. And a classic example is when I worked at Walmart and shit, bro. Well, more than 150, bro. I'm sleeping in the freezer, like the freezer.
And people can't track that.
They can't track that. There's too many people that even care about like.
And then when you do track it, then you become a whole new level of Nazi, like Amazon. Yeah. They made everything KPIs, key performance indicators. Everything is quantitative. Yeah. And now people are afraid to piss. They gotta pee so then it becomes hellish. You know what I mean? It's either they're burning money on you because they can't keep track of you and you're sleeping in the crates, or they're working you to death and you're gonna quit either way.
That's funny. This reminds me of this might be what's happening in China, bro. Because there's so many people, they can't really track what's happening. So they're like, you know what? Fucking sweatshops and shit. It's under the same idea of like, we're going to Nazi fucking rule everything in society. It's a communism. That's pretty much where it comes from. It's like the best approach to handle a large amount is communism.
Yeah. Have you heard about their scoring system in China? Like everybody has a fucking score.
Yeah, I heard that.
Because they have surveillance like crazy.
Yeah.
There is no like privatized. Yeah. That's not a thing. Yeah. If you have your own company, the government has a huge slice of it so they can keep awareness as to the operations. And like that's why like the government owns everything or has a big chunk of everything. So any Chinese owned business in the world is like a satellite operation of China. It's almost like a fucking it's a like you know what I mean? What's it called?
A venture. Like a subsidiary.
Exactly. Of China itself in Sudan, all throughout Africa. We know that. But all throughout here, all throughout like South America, they go to all the emerging and developing people and be like, you have natural resources. Let us help you seize them. Let us help you exploit these.
Fucking good
and we
machines.
have all of the machines.
We got fucking machines, bro.
We just want 50% of it or whatever the cut is. You guys don't have, it will take you 10 years to realize the means necessary to be able to capitalize on these resources. We can start 6 months if you sign here. Yeah. This is how much you're going to get every month. Like, yeah. And now obviously they're getting raped, right?
Yeah, everyone's getting fucking raped. Bro. It's pretty fucked. Like when you think of it that way, man, and that's like a good way to really understand how unorganized the world is. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of the things we're like saying is based on like history and like conversations, but I'm one of those people that I really do think like shit, like the way China runs is sort of what the world wants to run like, but they don't want to accept it.
Absolutely. China does those things.
They just do it. They don't think about and that's the bad part, like the human rights aspect of like how do people really feel about doing this. They don't look at that.
Well, the reality is there's two massive superpowers, China and America America just happens to be deeply, deeply in debt to China. So it's like China is acting almost like an ambassador in place, like a diplomatic community. The way they operate, they just go, our bad. Yeah. And COVID was pretty much confirmed to be lab made. You know what I mean? COVID-19.
You want to sue China? Sure.
No, I'm saying, exactly.
No,
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? It's literally
You just
like
gotta
the
let
most,
them do
the
the-
highest level of privilege isn't white privilege, it's Chinese
Chinese
privilege.
privilege.
Chinese privilege is the highest privilege. To be
But-
like, we're in what?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? What do you want? What are you saying? You don't want? You don't like the iPhone? You know what it's
don't
gonna
like it?
take
You don't like
if we cut off.
That's
Like
right.
obviously Taiwan is involved, but Taiwan is China.
Yeah.
You know, China is like they got their fucking holds right on that, but they're like. The entire first world, the Western culture is built off of the manufacturing of China.
Off to China. And that's the thing. Like, why?
What's that? What's that?
Yeah.
What
I
was
think,
that? Did you hear? Someone just dropped the beat hard.
I just farted, bro.
Oh, that's it? You got those fucking jazzy farts? The Coltrane.
My shit got pictures, bro.
Yeah. You got those Miles Davis
Miles Davis
burps.
butthole, bro. That's funny.
So what?
But yeah, bro, that's an interesting point. Like, this makes me think about it a bit more. It's just like, I really do think China is the future. We just don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
Like, the way they do everything, people, we need everything they want. We accept it when it's like third degree of separation. Like, I'm going to get an iPhone, but I don't want to see how the hot dog is made. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's what it is. And like, we're so fucking caught up in that system. It feels wrong now.
Like, I feel like what they're doing in China is almost kind of like inevitably what is needed to run a massive global population.
Well, yeah.
Like
7 billion people,
this
bro.
score. I mean, China's got 2, right?
Yeah, China's got
1.8.
exactly. That's what it is, bro. If you have a car, you would know how to fix a car. You know what I mean? If you have the most amount of cars, you'd be like, I gotta know how to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You have the most amount of people. You need a fucking human management system, human resources way ahead of us.
We're
right?
ahead of some Lithuania that has 100,000 people. They don't care about. They care about feelings and shit because it's a small organization.
Exactly.
But China has to think global.
They're on the highest level of that, where
Of
they're just like,
functioning,
okay, I feel like this social score thing is gonna trickle its way into Canada. It's gonna trickle its way.
You don't think
I mean,
it is?
here we call it a credit score. It's
Exactly.
but there it's so much more comprehensive as to like their whole life, not just their earning potential and how trustworthy they are with like lenders.
Yeah.
It's more like, do they pay their, like, taxes are reflected in a criminal histories. Like, you could have murdered someone and probably have an 800 credit score, right?
Yeah.
Like here in Canada,
Here,
you could like be in
think
prison
Paul
for
Bernardo
life
had
for
a
like
400 credit score. He had a good credit score.
exactly. There you go. You could be the president with a bad credit score.
Yeah.
You could be a prime minister. Trudeau could have a fucked up credit score. We don't know that, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like all those are tied into that number, and it's so comprehensive in China. They're like, okay, we have your bank. We know what your job is.
Yeah.
We have a social insurance number here. America's got a social security number. China's for sure got some fucking number.
Yeah.
They probably have, everyone's got like 3 numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if this is true, but I heard you can't even, if you want to get married and shit, they check your credit score in China.
No way.
Yeah, like they actually want to be sure that you're able to afford a family, pretty much, and they will check your credit score on that.
What's that? What's it called? One second.
I forget what it's called, but
this is
it's one of those. Because I think, bro, China is one of those countries that like they understand the value of sort of the group gratification, if that makes sense. Like if everybody in society thinks you're a good person, then you're a good person. If everybody thinks you're a bad person, then no. China is one of those kind of things. It's like if everybody in society thinks, I mean, in a way, it's like you can't have more than 10 kids because population is not good. Then it's a rule. People would like report you and shit.
Like adhere to it.
Like they have to adhere to it. They're one of those probably the only place in the world I think does that really well. But that's what we're trying to do here too, bro. Like I don't understand how we're trying to make the Chinese look like they're doing something inhumane. It's just we're trying to figure out the best way to do it, but their understanding of life is, or the way they express themselves is very direct, if that makes sense. Like being direct is almost, to me, is better than kind of like side fucking. We all know that, like.
Well, of course, like
more direct
in life in general.
Of
course, that's why I always said that I like the South more than I like the northern states. I like Tennessee more than Michigan, because like in Michigan, people would smile in your face.
Yeah, moving. I'm closed doors.
And you don't know what's happening. But then like in Tennessee, if they don't like you, they don't smile at you. I like that.
Yeah.
Don't you prefer that?
I prefer. Sometimes I feel sad. It hurts me.
Yeah. Of course. I'm not like, you know what I mean. I'm not immune to like sadness or those type of weird like feelings of like, fuck you. I'm equal. Like I'm the same as you.
Guy, yeah.
But also, I'm like, I'd rather you wear it on your shoulder or whatever the saying is. I'd rather you wear it there than fucking just be hiding it. Oh, smiling. You know what I mean? Like treating. Like I worked with so many companies in fucking. Michigan is not bad. You know what's funny about the South is like there's so many people that are like, you could see racially it's so mixed to a level like black and white people have been mixed for generations. Like when you go to the South, you see all these people that look like they're 1/10 black. Yeah. Like they were like black, like got in a long time ago.
Yeah.
They just, you know, when you see people that are like 95% white, but you see a little black in them, just shows like, a little bit.
Say nigga, let me hear how you pronounce nigga.
You know, like when people are a little black, the hair always kind of becomes a little ginger kind of. Yeah. It's like this brown thing.
Oh, word.
There's so much of people. I'm like, damn, in the South, I was like, so many half black people and quarter black and eighth black. It's like
it's a mixture, man. I think they're one of the only places that really like the whole purpose of their whole system was. Oh, this is gonna be a very controversial statement. I literally just about to say, I was like, God damn. But one of the only places that sort of like took kind of like mixing races and culture. They kind of took that. They took it the wrong way, obviously, by fucking implementing slavery and shit. Mm-hmm. But the purpose behind it, if you think of it from like, I don't know what I'm thinking from their perspective. I'm apologizing in advance.
Just say it.
I feel really wrong even saying it. But the whole purpose was like to see how people mix together. Like although they came with some prejudice and they were like black people are lower than white people. But the whole concept was like, okay, if we have the society where we're having these two races, that's already a fucking stretch for them. Because if you go to like Europe, they just didn't want people, bro. Like they literally just like took out, they were very centric. It's like one type of people only. There wasn't any, in Germany in the 30s, you think there was a lot of black people hanging. They didn't even want slaves,
probably hanging,
bro.
Yeah.
They didn't even want the problem. Yeah, that's messed up, bro. But that's real shit. They didn't even want slaves, bro. Think about that shit.
Well, when I was in Paris, I saw that there was a lot of Algerians that came over. And keep in mind, Algeria is a French colony.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you came, for the French, you came and colonized us. And then now some of our people are in there. And like the police rounded up and killed till this day, there's like a celebration. It's like a holiday and stuff. I was there reading about it. But and this was like in the 20s or like 19, this was within 100 years. Yeah. But they just gathered up. There was like a massacre of Algerians, you know?
They're just like, yo, that's what
and there's nobody, there's no law to be like, we must protect the, no, it's just like they just painted it as these people are raping us and they're the killers. You know what I mean? Like Germany did it. Germany let in so many Syrians. Yeah. Because Germany's like, they're apologizing for Nazis and Hitler till this day. Every time there's someone displaced or there's a civil war,
like,
Germany takes it. We'll take in 1 million. We'll take in 1 million.
If it makes us look good, we'll take in any amount.
Please forget the Second World War. Please just forget it. But they took in so many, and then right away they were like, the Syrians, the crime is up. Syria, like the Syrian, this person is like, the media is covering any sort of like criminal activity happening they're covering it way disproportionately to paint them as like, look at the problem the government has let in and like this type of shit, you know?
And it's a standard out there. I feel like Europe is a different beast, bro.
It is.
I feel like Europe's a way different beast. Like, every time I read about it, I'm like, man, they're in a different... And like, what's happening now is like with globalization and everything, everyone's learning. I think that's the important part, really. It's like people are able to move to different places and stuff, and that's good. Because prior to this, it was more like nobody...
you can't leave.
I couldn't leave.
No one's coming in.
No one's coming in. Or hardly anyone's coming in or out. Like...
The only person coming is coming to rob resources.
It's coming to rob resources, bro. That was it.
And they're coming with smiles and open arms.
Yeah, you know bro. They're coming with Jesus' name.
We flew over your country and our fucking radar showed us that you're over a huge bed of petroleum.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Here
is a Hummer H1. We'll gift to you.
Now learn how to drive a
Here's
Hummer.
a Rolex. Now let's talk about robbing you of like fucking 10 billion in resources annually. But like,
how about we take all your kids and move them to a new country? It's like, yo, that's fucked. But I mean,
it is. It's a different. Europe really is a different type of vibe out there.
It's a different.
I was saying, bro, it's like the they get like the African blacks are like, especially in France, they're like a darker. They're like they come from Chad and they come from. It's like the Horn of Africa comes to North America.
Yeah,
it seems like
niggas, bro.
Wait, is Nigeria in the Horn of Africa?
No, it's in the middle, man.
Why do you rep it like that? But I didn't run into any Somalis there. I run into Somalis in Canada and America all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of Somalis in England. I just didn't run into them in France.
Yeah.
But like I ran into enough niggas that looked like they were probably from like Kenya, Chad, Congo.
Mostly Congo, Senegal,
Senegal,
mostly the French speaking African countries.
The west coast of Africa, Sierra Leone, like these type of guys. It's like it's funny they and I get it. Anybody coming from Africa, we should all be going to Europe. Like as far as if you look at just the sheer miles, we should all been going to Europe.
Europe first, but North America offered something that I don't think any other continent offered. And that was
Europe was saturated. We'll be like, okay, it's hard to get into England.
Yeah.
At this point, it's hard to get into all these
small
places.
landmass.
Canada is huge,
empty.
And we're like, the health cards, come 3 years, just stay here. You get permanent resident. Like Canada was like, come and fill up, come and get into our system and pay taxes and make this whole thing run. You know what I mean? Even in the night, but the problem I will say is that there's still a lot of countries. There's still a lot of a good list of countries where it's like, for most people, like the first world is accessible to some degree via like academic achievement. So if you're killing it and like you apply, but then it's like, I know I have international friends, students, and their tuition was twice the price. Like my buddy came from Tanzania. My tuition a year was $12,000. His was $24,000. It was literally exactly twice the amount. So you got to be like an outlier rich over there to make it work here, or a fucking genius of God knows purport. Only coding, and like computer science. Only like it seems like that and athletics are the only fields where they can like harvest talent from way abroad. Yeah. Because if you're really good at chemistry, if you're a really good writer, no one's gonna give you $100,000 to come here.
Thinking.
But if you're a god level hacker in Zambia right now, and you get into some like Google hacking competition, you beat everyone, Google will be like, come here.
We'll pay everyone.
We'll pay everything. Yeah, you're a genius. Come here, right?
Yeah.
But no, there's no chemistry thing. There's nobody like who's wrote the best essay, and they're like, come. Cambridge is having the you know what I mean? And maybe they might. I might be talking out of my ass, but I know specifically with like computer science.
Nah, bro. I don't think they're picking any
athletics.
I don't think they're picking any African kids being like, you.
Well, this kid's the next Shakespeare. No. But this kid's the next like fucking Einstein. Okay, we'll bring him.
Yeah.
They'll probably go like to Europe first, but like my whole point being is that so for most people, so if you're a regular, if me and you and our parents didn't do what they did to bring us here. Let's say we do regular shit. We're regular students. Yeah. Nigeria has built a lot of goodwill and cachet around the world.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of successful Nigerians. Nigeria doesn't do any terrorist activity. They have no like hardcore extremist affiliation. But, exactly. You guys have done a couple of decades of goodwill and good credit, right? You have good country credit.
Yeah.
Sudan has none of that shit. None, bro. I have rich cousins.
Sorry, bro, but no.
I have rich cousins who can't get visitor visas because they're like, visitor visas? You're not leaving. If you give you a visitor visa, you're gonna come here and say you're a refugee immediately. We know the game. We're not gonna give any of you one. Yeah. So these people, like Sudan, Yemen, Iraq, like there's like a list of like all of these type of countries where it's like even if you're fucking smart, and even let's say you're smart and you're not a genius, but you really want an opportunity to go to the first world, it's fucking hard, yo.
It's hard, man.
It's hard. Like I don't even see the route for a lot of these people. Like they literally have no route.
Yeah.
Like the unless you meet unless you have a family and you have an amazing refugee story, and then the countries like their bleeding heart program will allow them in.
There's a quota for things.
There's a quota, but they prioritize the family.
Yeah.
Because a single guy coming here is like a free radical in your body. Bro. That's like waiting to make cancer.
Yeah.
You're unpredictable. They don't know what you're capable of.
What is this nigga gonna do?
Exactly. Someone with a family, they at least know it's like, for the most part, your responsibilities are set.
Yeah.
you're kind
It's a
of
big
tethered
one.
to that, right?
Yeah.
You're not a red flag.
Well, it dates back to whenever. It's just like there's always been that idea of like the family man is like kind of the trusted
safe.
person.
Yeah,
It's the safe choice. Like a woman with like kids, that's a safe choice.
Like university degree, speak 2 languages, and a family. That's
Bro,
like
you're
your
set.
no, you're not set. That's what I'm saying now. It's like you're averaging that. You're not even special.
I mean, sorry, that's the basic. Yeah, that's the basic.
You need
The
3
yeah.
languages. Like my dad had an MBA in the 90s. An MBA spoke French, English, and Arabic.
Yeah.
And he got in as a professional, so he didn't come in as. And I have a whole bit about how he bragged about every day how he got in as a professional. But like,
That's a joke.
yeah, he would
That's
brag. He'd be like, only us and Amul Fadla got in as professionals. You know what I mean?
Bro, my dad does the same. My dad came in the 70s. He came on a scholarship to school.
Yeah.
Because he had a brother that was already here and like finished work, his oldest brother.
Yeah.
So then he then sponsored him to then come to school. And then after school, he then obviously like
You stayed
extra.
Yeah.
which
Edward
is, like,
Kim, he just got permanent residency.
Shout out to Edward Kim,
Yeah,
bro.
years from now,
Yeah.
his kids will tell the same story of how his dad came and stayed. You know what I mean? We
true.
come, we stay. I mean, but he's got a Korean passport.
Yeah.
He can go to America. He can go to England. There's not a lot
Korean is actually good.
That's first world.
Yeah, that's first world.
That's
shit.
full.
Yeah,
South
he's
Korea
good.
is full first world. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who. Maybe you're probably even better off than a lot of places.
Yeah.
You have a better chance of getting into North Korea as a South Korean than as a fucking Canadian.
Oh, bro, they don't want anybody in
And
North
they don't want
Korea,
anybody,
bro.
but I'm saying like they probably technically have more. Like
I think though South Korea is one of those countries that's like it's so advanced and
How-
like
that's-
everyone's
how-
so educated that it's hard to even like say anybody that comes from South Korea is not smart. If that makes sense. Because before their standard of education is pretty high, they're well educated. It's like having like a British person come to Canada. You're like, of course, like you've done all this. I mean, British kind of sucks. But
Damn, listen to this. As of 15th January 2019, South Korean citizens had visa-free or visa on arrival access to 189 countries and territories, ranking the South Korean passport second in the world in terms of travel freedom, tied with the Singaporean passport, and one ranking from the Japanese passport. So they're like, yo, Japanese people have money. They are Asian. They do not murder. They do not rape. They do not do any of this stuff. They will come. They will put money into our economy, and they will go home because life is better over there.
Yeah.
They're the lowest
Real shit.
risk possible. That's so the Japanese passport is the number 1.5, but South Korea is the second. So Asians are high, but China's obviously
Asians are really high, bro.
China's been a bully in the world, so I bet there's a lot of countries that are like, China, you need advanced passport. Like countries that Chinese people don't want to go to as tourism, they're probably like angry about it. But everyone else knows there's so many Chinese tourists and there's so much money. As a Chinese person, it's easy to get into Canada.
I think so too. It's just like also from a cultural standpoint, it kind of means a lot for like Canada to take in Chinese people because I mean there's a history there and like there's some they have their community here.
They have a big community
They have
here.
a big community and that's like
Their economy dwarfs our economy. So like all their people can come here and easily afford. They don't just easily afford, but they come here, they pay all their like I had friends who worked at banks and they had a lot of first year Asians that would come to Waterloo with a cashier's check. This is their spending money for this is what they're arriving with. And he saw 300,000 USD. He saw 600,000 USD. So they come, they get the fucking S5 from Audi. They get that lease. They get a 4-year lease. They get an apartment, just a rental, and they just have a couple 100,000. They're just ordering food.
They just live in life because they know like this is what it takes to survive in this parts of the world.
It's so much. It's so much in excess. What do you mean? I have it. $300,000, bro. Who has that?
From in their head. Think of it. Think of it.
They know it's
expensive,
way more than
they know it's way more, but they make so much money.
Yeah, they're so rich that they're like, I'm gonna live in excess and luxury, or I'm gonna at least have the option to do so. Like, I'm not coming here to be an international student and scrounging. I'm coming from money, and I'm arriving with money.
Facts. Like you know how much if you're gonna move from China to America, you're like, man, I'm coming with as much money as I can to start, and also I know for a fact that like I already have like that Chinese vibe with me, which means I can speak Mandarin or I can speak Chinese. Which is a big, it's a big thing now. Everyone's trying to work with the Chinese people. It's like, of course, you must be a bit educated to even leave China. I don't think there's Chinese bombs out there. Have you ever seen a Chinese homeless guy? No, I've never seen one.
I've seen a couple Asian homeless guys, and I was like, "This is something. That looks really
It
wrong.
looks wrong.
Isn't that hilarious?
Bro. It's really scary.
Bro, I went to the University of Waterloo. There's so many rich international student Asians there that the average Asian car was a white 3 Series. It's always white. White's like the go-to color of luxury and wealth in China.
And the Middle East.
And the number 8. Number 8 means like richness and luck or something in the Mandarin, like in alphabet or whatever.
Yeah.
So they'll have like license plate that go heart 888 heart or something like that. A lot of 8s, right?
Oh.
It means like with good fortune or something like that. But 3 Series, C-Class Mercedes, always. Yeah. I remember like UW Plaza was a big plaza. If you went to Waterloo, you know it. Big plaza of restaurants right next to campus. A lot of Asian restaurants, everything. And you always see all the cars there. But I remember one time just walking and I saw a fucking Asian kid driving a beat up Toyota Corolla. Beat up. And I remember, and I didn't even have a car at the time.
Yeah.
I just remember feeling so sad for him. like, he's doing better than me. But I'm like, for you, like this is like, because being at Waterloo, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine just being like, because this is the way we're in Canada. This guy is in Canada the same way.
Yeah.
As a Chinese guy. He didn't come in with money. They came in refugees. Like I could see it in his face, everything about him. He was like middle class just like me. But I felt bad. I'm like, man, like this whole school is fucking like rich Asians with like everyone's got back home money. Like imagine being the one broke Arab on in welfare at a school that has all international Saudis and Kuwaitis, bro. And you're Arab just like them.
My boy's from Qatar. He lives in Qatar, and this is the funny. He actually listens to the podcast too, so he might find it so funny.
Oh yeah, what's your name? Shout him out.
Yeah, shout out to Lee. Shout out to Lee.
Imagine you don't know his name.
It's like, what's that boy's name again?
Fuck.
No, but
sorry, bro.
He was telling me a story of how when they go to the convenience store in Qatar, it's just a lineup of like Porsche cars, so you have like all the fucking.
Oh, they wait outside.
They wait outside, bro. I'm like, that's insane.
And
so
the guy the Indians run, right?
Yeah, he's like a middle class. They're not balling too much. So he's like, yo, I'm the guy that walks in sometimes, and like it feels like I feel weird because like there's just lineup of cars, and then I'm walking in. I get out of my like.
Is he Asian?
He's like half Asian, half Sudanese.
No way.
Half Chinese, half Sudanese.
Yo, let me see a picture of this guy.
Bro, he's a legend, bro. Yeah, my phone's in the back.
Do you know his Instagram?
Sure. Yeah, I think
I have to see a picture.
Muji
half
from the city.
Chinese, half Sudanese? Yeah. I have never heard of that.
There's a legend,
I mean, of course, there's many of them. There's just so many.
Yeah.
But like, I need to see a face.
Yo, he's jokes. One of my good friends. One of my best friends, bro. He's a legend, bro. Super smart kid too. Like, that's
super smart.
I'm sure he follows you or something.
Engineer, doctor.
Yeah, follows you, bro. Yeah. He loves your pod, bro.
Yo.
Shout out to Lee.
Yo, I just followed you back, bro. Oh, he looks like a cool kid too.
He's a cool kid,
and he gets a lot of comments and likes on his posts.
He's a legend, bro.
Where is the guy? Lives in Qatar?
He's in Ottawa now.
Oh, Qatar's got crazy amount of Sudani people, by the way.
Yeah.
They're all there. It's one of those countries it's good living and they let Sudanis in.
Yeah, because they know, I think they respect the fact
they do a lot of the professional industry there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's doctors that are Sudani,
exactly.
Engineers are Sudani.
They just know for a fact there's on-tap talent, you know? It's just like you gotta invest in that.
Yo, shout out to this guy. Look at this guy. You just got featured on the podcast. I hope you enjoy. Look at that. He's got He's got a little of the curl. He's got that beard from the Sudani side. He actually looks half. That's so funny.
Yeah,
man.
He's like, it is super.
Do you know what side's what? I bet you the dad is Sudani.
His dad's Sudani. Yeah. His dad's Sudani. His mom's Chinese.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, his dad's a cool guy too. Like you get to hear, he tells me like cool stories about his dad and stuff.
Does he speak Arabic?
He speaks Arabic, yeah.
Dude, that's fucking
Arabic.
sick.
Speaks Mandarin, speaks Chinese or Mandarin.
Yo, when I come do the Immigrant Section tour, we're gonna do Ottawa. Come out, reach Ottawa. The show in Ottawa, bro.
Yo, Lee, come through.
Let's see these Sudani
Bring
Chinese.
The fam. Yeah, he's super jokes. But yeah, he's one of my good friends.
He's like, I walk out, and because that's what they do there. Because there's the caste system is nowhere in the world is the caste system so like in your face like medieval fucking rich and peasant shit as it is in the Arab world.
Oof, it's insane. It's
there's videos of Saudis having like a car accident with like Indians, in Saudi Arabia and just beating a fucking Indian dude or like a Bengali guy.
Yeah.
And like no one is stopping, no one cares because they know the power dynamic. They know it's like, oh, that guy might be royalty. What am I gonna do? I can't hit him.
Yeah.
And the guy getting hit it'd be like a black guy getting attacked by cops and being like, I'm getting hit, but if I punch back, it's grounds for me getting shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fact.
So it's
It's a scary place to be.
It's fucked up.
Scary place. I was reading about the 2022 World Cup that's happening in Qatar. That was a big
1,000 people died.
Like every day. People die every day, bro.
Every day?
It's pretty much every day. There's like there's numbers. The stats are not even out there. But again, numbers that are like pretty outrageous, bro.
And it got canceled in the end, didn't it?
No, it's still happening. And that's a problem. Like, you understand? That's where human rights comes into like play.
Is this supposed to be next year, 2022?
Next year it's happening. They're building fucking 8 new stadiums and they're hiring mostly like Indian and Bangladeshi like their workers.
The second tier shit.
Apparently what they do is when they come to Qatar, they fly them into Qatar, they take their passports.
They take their passports.
Bro.
I read about that.
So they can't leave. That's fucked up.
Because they just subject them to the most ridiculous working conditions. Yeah. And my buddy grew up in Kuwait, my buddy Omar, and he told me that there's a law in Kuwait that if it's 50 degrees Celsius, it's disbands working for the day.
Yeah.
It's a pauses working for the day.
Yeah.
50 degrees Celsius.
That's fucked.
And there'd be like temperature towers all over in Kuwait, and he said they will never pass 49 ever. It doesn't matter how hot it gets, you will never not be working.
Yeah.
Even if it's 60, it says 49.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all again Bengalis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro, it's stress, bro. That's so painful.
Yeah, they treat them just like they treated like
slavery,
the Chinese.
It's
less than slavery actually, because they do get paid, and what they get paid is better than their opportunities back home. That's why they came there to begin with, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like probably how they traded the Chinese they brought over to make the railways.
Yeah,
like it's old level treatment shit. Like how many people died in Qatar to build the stadium? By the way, I love having this. Remember, I used to record the episode on the laptop. It'd be on the ground.
Yeah.
That was the worst. You couldn't Google shit.
That's funny. Yeah, it's a cool setup.
But my God, dude. That's crazy.
It's a lot of people, bro.
Over 6,500 migrant workers employed in the immense construction sites for the facilities that will host the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar have died. I thought it was 1,000.
By the way, this
7,000.
is fake. This is the fake stats. So they're not
actually
saying
probably
the
over
real
10,000.
people. Over 10. The people are saying it's over 10,000.
That's
like
fucking
it's real.
crazy. More than 6,500 more. India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka have died in Qatar since it won it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how much of investment. And by the way, all this shit is just going to be like, that's how big of a business FIFA is. Like, ideally, they know that all of these stadiums will be a ghost town.
Yeah.
Or they'll be for right after, right? And even The Simpsons did a thing about that in that one episode where it's like they build big things for big competitions, and 10,000 people have died.
They don't
crazy.
care. I think that's the biggest thing about like government and like sort of like the idea of letting a certain group of people make the decisions is they don't care about the individuals, right? Again, back to the thing about the Chinese thing, is like they think of the group as being the core point of like decisions that will be made. So when they're making decisions for things like this, 1,600 to them, it's nothing. All they're thinking is like, we're hosting the FIFA World Cup. We'll bring in the world.
Billions.
Or bring in billions of dollars
through this tiny land
like this. So this is the preliminaries. They don't care about this shit.
I get that, but look, the death toll is significantly higher, as these figures do not include deaths from a number of countries which send large numbers of workers to Qatar, including the Philippines and Kenya, deaths that occurred in the final months of 2020.
Yeah.
And
I think it was the Kenyan government that started the query, like started looking into it.
Isn't that crazy? 6,500, like...
That's a lot of people,
that's,
bro.
By the end of this, and they're like...
500 kids. Like, think of your son or like your father or whatever. Like, that's fucked.
Deaths that occurred in the final months of 2020 are also not included. This article is more than 8 months old. Yo,
it's faking. This is the information that the Qatari government gave out.
Sanctioned. So it's like a third of the truth.
Like, people died. What amount? That's the thing we'll have a conversation about.
That's fucking wild, dude. It's crazy. And like, it's not like they're going to put a plaque as if they're fallen soldiers outside the stadium and list all their names. They're not going to do that either. Bro. You know
they
what I
don't
mean?
even know some of their names, bro.
Bro,
pretty
this by the end of this will compare with small wars. You realize that?
Yeah.
The death toll here. Let's see in the last month. Migrant workers.
These are
have
insane, bro.
That's freaking 1 day ago. They estimated 4,000 workers. They estimated in advance. That's the crazy. They're like
They know.
They're like, yeah, based on the grandness of this, we're looking at probably about 5,000 deaths. That's in a place where they couldn't do stuff like that here.
No, but I think
liability.
The reason why we can't do stuff like this here is because I think they've built a system they want to make a fortified system. And I explain what I mean. Like the fortified system is a system that like you have things like Facebook, right?
Okay.
The Facebook company being this. More companies would rather merge with Facebook than try to be their own thing. If that makes sense.
Of course, yeah.
Because under like
you can't live, you can't survive alone.
You can't survive, you know. It's just like we're able to interconnect everything. Like the idea of the internet being born here, simple example of like the idea is want everything to be under one umbrella. And under that umbrella, there's rules, regulations, like ways to approach it, like the protocols and all of that stuff. With all of that said, it's like any crime you commit, it goes through a system, you know, and like it affects every other thing. That's why I say the thing they're doing in China, it's already happening here. We just don't think that's valuable data. Like if I find out, say you robbed a shop, I'm like, maybe you're just a kid when you did it. I'm not going to count that against you. But China will be like, we're counting that against you. It's already in the system. But we could do it here. We just haven't done it.
Well, here it's not numerical. Here we have a criminal check. You know what I mean? So that's not a numerical thing, but it comes up there, and store owners and business owners and employers can still filter you out of candidates based on that, based on credit score. Like credit score comes into play when they living. When I come to live here, I have to acknowledge and give consent for a criminal check, credit check, pay statements. Like the amount of shit we had to provide, it was fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like ridiculous. It's like, how's anybody finding? And he was doing the same standards to find someone in the basement, tenant to find. I'm like, how are you gonna? You got the craziest fucking standards. You know, like how are you gonna find anybody to rent a basement with the? And he did. He ended up finding a guy. Good for him. But maybe he ended up lowering his standards because I know they're having trouble for a while. But
some landlords. So quick update on that shit.
On that landlord shit?
On that landlord shit.
I detoured hard on that shit.
You just made a quick debrief.
Bro, this guy annoys me. My fucking landlord, bro. Bro, he was here an hour ago. Because we have an agreement that he pays 40% of the utilities.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the guy downstairs pays 40, we pay 60%. He reimburses our 40 and gets his whatever, right?
Okay.
But this motherfucker refuses to e-transfer. We tell him like, yo, this is what you owe us this month. And this nigga comes like, he doesn't even respond. He just shows up like a month later with cash. An hour before you showed up, he came for the last time in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, email transfer this. What are you doing? It's like, I haven't set it up. I just don't trust it. And he's a young guy. He's a young Italian guy. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you're hanging out with too many of these old Italians. Yeah, once you e-transfer once, you're gonna feel like a dumbass for showing up here every time,
so
knocking.
Easy.
He gives me like he came up with $36 and quarters and loonies and exact
real
change.
Shit?
E-transfer it, you fucking idiot! What are you doing? But anyways, the whole point, the whole detour and everything is that there's liability. Yeah. You have to answer to what you do, right?
Yeah.
And in the countries where we're saying like there's a clear class structure.
Yeah.
Like, as in the case of like the Khalij, the Arab world, like that.
Yeah.
These people, they have no basis. They sign away. If you want to make money, these are the risks. Sign here. Like, you can't sign a contract like that and then have no basis in Canada or America.
No,
you'll still take it to the courts.
Everybody
they'll beat the contract. They're like they knew they could die. They signed right here.
Yeah,
it's like but you didn't do anything to minimize these deaths. You're still liable at the end of the day. There, it's like. The court thing is not as fucking dominant as it is. That's the beauty of here in North America.
I think one of the coolest things I ever learned about like North American lifestyle, and that's what made me understand what they're trying to do in terms of like make everything trackable. Because if you can track everything, then you can make a better society, in quote. I don't know what that means, but is like if you go to the what's it called like WWE, to join WWE to just fake wrestle, you have to sign a debt waiver. it means like if I die fighting,
I can't sue.
I can't sue. Yeah,
and
anything.
they still can't sue.
And they still can't sue. And that's the most. It's fake. Think about that
it's
shit.
not fake. It's just it like
It's fake.
I think it.
Abbas, wrestling is fake.
Wrestling is fake, but people can die.
Okay,
They get
okay.
hurt. They're all on pain pills. They're all jumping and fucked up and hitting each other.
True.
They're not like the whole story's fake for sure, but the impacts are real as fuck. But like if they do die, depending on how it was done, because it'll be like in that thing in the contract, it'll be like, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure it's safe. But in the event of death, you have to be willing to, like, that's a possibility, like sign here, right?
Yeah.
And then the lawsuit will end up becoming like, we're arguing that they did not do everything in their power to make it safe. And then you win on that, like on those grounds, right?
Yeah.
Like there's people sign prenups all the time.
A lot of things, man.
And then a divorce happens years later, and then they go to court, and they have a prenup, but they still go to court because they're coming in a new angle. Court is like fucking, it's contract ballet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, they signed away here, but slide up on this clause.
Yeah.
You guys did not, like, you didn't pay him last year, therefore you.
Said if you miss a month, you have to pay.
You did not pay him, therefore you voided the contract. Therefore, that his death was not covered. Like that's court, you know.
Yeah.
That's why you get the justice you can afford. You get the justice you can afford.
Speaking of that too, that's another reason why like only North American people can actually like, if you're not like in the system, it's hard for them to import like that knowledge here. You know what I mean? Like you can't go find like a Kenyan lawyer being like, I want to migrate here and be a lawyer here. It's kind of like there's another, except like you're properly educated and all that.
Oh, no, even if you're not properly educated, it's just a different law here.
It's just a different law. It's just the context is way different than like a regular thing. But you realize like that's why people just argue about random shit. And that's why people, do you hear of the guy that sued God?
No, that's in America, right?
In America,
of course.
He can.
That's Florida.
You know
That has Florida written up. Where was that?
I think it was Florida.
Yeah, that's the
Florida
most.
Man.
Florida man sues God. That's
like a.
I'm gonna Google that.
Search that.
It's like that. Florida man sues God.
It's easy, bro.
I'm not bitter. Former Florida death row inmate suing Tampa police wants to fix broken system. Oh no, not God. I'm just gonna say man sues God.
Something.
The politician who sued God. It was a Nebraska senator, Ernie Chambers, sued God. And did he win?
I mean, you gotta ask God.
God hired Johnny Cochran. It's like he called me God. The cross does not fit.
Imagine you sue God and then God shows up in court. That would be funny.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. He's just literally in robes.
He just lights. He a white beam.
Oh yeah, they have a sky. They have a skylight over the witness testimony bench, and just a beam comes down. Oh, what is it? What is it, my son?
And then the lawyer has to fucking put his hand together.
God.
Like, yes, Lord. Yeah. Okay, Lord.
Yeah. The guy, like, what's it called? Double cross-examining. It's like, God, if that really is your name. Almighty. It says here you go by the name of Almighty, the giver. A lot of names for one man.
Your Honor.
These are necessary to establish the shoddiness of the character of the defendant. It's like, I'll allow it.
Yo, God will be
God
chilling.
loses in fucking, what's it called? In lawsuit against Nebraska Senate. That's the power of politicians right there.
You get a break after.
So stupid.
That's
America is the final. The Arab world represents, and like India too, probably, where
East,
like
pretty much
like a low caste person
Yeah.
is not going to be able to beat a high caste person in India. Unless like the whole public is on their side and people like, here's some money, fight this. You represent
social meaning.
Exactly. You represent something amazing. So, but in general, no, that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like if the senator's son is at a house party and some fucking hood ass black dude is there and the senator calls him nigger and the hood ass black dude knocks the fuck out of him and he drops and he fucks his eye up. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be able to like. Him saying he called him nigger is not going to be good enough in court.
That
guy's going to get fucked.
Yeah,
he's going to get fucked.
I got emotionally wrecked. And
if they were both middle class, those would cancel each other out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then the power dynamic is he's fucked, right?
Yeah.
The Arab world is the ultimate example, and America's the ultimate example of the total opposite, where it's like they built a system where people live off of suing.
Yeah.
Accountability is like a business where they're just like, what? Something exploded at the mall? Like literally a random lawyer office will see the news, hear that a leak happened in the mall.
Yeah.
And 8 employees got gas poisoning and there was an explosion. Now they go to those 8 employees and go, you were wronged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They reach out to you.
They reach out to these people. They put them all together in like a little class action or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
They sue successfully. They give them all their little chunk and they take their 40% or whatever it is.
Bro.
And they live off it and they keep looking for catastrophes to go up to people and be like, you were wronged. This is like
real shit.
Right?
It's
but I'd
real
rather
shit,
live
bro.
in that than a scenario where where 10,000 migrant workers are dying and nobody
I
can
think
do
that's
shit.
the advantage of North America anyway. It's like this is what we get. What we get is like in exchange for sort of like being in a system that we definitely know it was built
secure.
on fucking. Well, in exchange for living in a system where we know it's kind of fucked up. If you think about the history of where we are. Go back to even the indigenous people and shit.
Everybody, every country,
I mean,
no country has
is-
no bloodshed in their
exactly,
past. No
exactly.
country.
But we're exchanging that for like security, and that's the biggest thing I think humans really want. At the end of the day, it's like that freedom to like make decisions, fight for what you think is right, pursue things that you think is impossible.
Yeah,
Like,
nowhere is
we're lucky.
insurance more necessary than in America.
Oh,
Like,
facts.
nowhere is
I still
insurance
don't get
more
insurance,
necessary where
bro.
people
I
are
still don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it.
People litigate left and right. They love to sue. That's the
Yeah.
only place where it's like, I wouldn't drive. I'd drive without insurance in Canada. I'd have the paper to show that. And you can't do that anymore. The cops can tell. But in America, I would never fuck around because I know people are looking for any opportunity to sue.
Anything.
Have I ever asked you the 3 questions, by the way?
What 3 questions?
I asked 3 questions on the podcast, like as part of the Immigrant Section thing.
Oh, sure.
Okay, wait. Did you ever get beat?
Never get beat?
Did you get beat as a kid?
I got beat as a kid.
Like hard beating or like standard beatings?
Oh, now it's casual shit. But
Yeah.
I
But
got
you
beat
have
for
no
sure.
resentment in your heart over the beatings you got.
No, I feel like I love everyone that beat me, bro.
Okay.
I can't hate them. They're like my older sister. I'm not gonna hit my older sister or my aunt. These are like family, you know.
They beat you?
They beat knowledge into me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, bro. It's the real
And
shit.
scoliosis.
And some scoliosis, bro.
Sitting like they give me that knowledge. That's
a
joke.
broken
Some people
spine.
I had some people on here that just got beat hard and they're resentful.
Nah, bro, I feel like you can't be resentful if family member
But
beats
some
you,
people beat you hard, bro.
Did you get beat as a kid?
I got beat. I got like regular beat where
Yeah,
when I
okay.
fucked up, I got beat.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But some people got like beat because like their dad was angry and like they were at
True.
the room just on the computer and he came angry and he, you know,
Oh,
they
it's on
didn't
the
pray.
computer.
I told you to make wudu or some shit like that. like those type of anger.
I told you to stop sneezing.
Yeah.
Booyah,
Yeah. But okay, you got okay. Next question. What's I haven't done these in a while. I feel bad. I know people are like, you haven't answered your 3 questions, but what's something that you only have seen Nigerians do?
Ooh, that's
Or
a
you've only
good
seen in
question.
Nigeria.
God damn. Something I've only seen in Nigeria is
Or only Nigerians do it. Whatever. Which one of those 2?
that's a tough one because everything I'm thinking is like regular. I was gonna say like I guess like
Imagine you said rape.
I'm not even gonna laugh at that. That's fucked up.
You are laughing at it. You're like, I'm not even going to laugh.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, that's jokes. It's just obviously comedy. But keep
Rape's
going.
global. It's everywhere.
Comedy.
It's everywhere. Rape's everywhere, bro. No, I'd say something I've only seen in Nigeria, like experienced in Nigeria, is like commercial bikes. You know when you hop on the back of a bike?
Yeah.
Like if I'm trying to go downtown, I like stop a motorcycle on the streets and then hop on. You pay like $10 or whatever. Not $10, like dollars, like
That's
Canadian money. But
Like not a business, just a guy. You just be like,
no,
yo,
it's a business. So people buy bikes as like taxis.
Motorcycles.
Like motorcycle taxis, essally, yeah.
Oh, no way.
Someone's gonna hop in
Helmet,
the
no
back.
helmet.
No helmet, bro.
Yeah, okay.
No one's
Just
using
confirm.
helmet.
Imagine how sweaty it would be there.
That's the mustiest shit ever,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, fuck that.
No. But just
I've
raw,
never seen that.
dogging it. That's something
I
very
think
unique, yeah.
They got that in Vietnam, I think. I heard. I don't know.
Oh,
if
sure,
that-
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think in Vietnam you can rent a bike.
Like crazy.
Like you can rent your own bike. I don't think you might actually be able to.
Well, Andrea, she
Yeah.
told me that she was afraid, so she just had the guy like.
Oh, okay.
So
you
there's
can
people-
get a okay.
It's very standard transportation over
Yeah.
there. Is it motorcycle super standard transportation in Nigeria?
It's a fairly standard, yeah. It's a fairly standard because I don't think there's taxis are mad expensive, like getting a cab. There's no Uber.
But what about Rekesha? Three-wheel?
Three-wheel came for a bit.
It's gone?
They called it Keke Napep. I don't think it exists anymore.
Why?
It's called Keke Napep. It was like an initiative for like poor families to start your own business. So you buy it for cheap.
Sudan is just like that, yeah.
Yeah, so they had that, but I don't think it was there too long. I remember it coming when I was in Nigeria. I remember it coming, and then I remember never seeing it again.
That's so funny.
It's like, yeah.
Something happened.
Something happened, bro.
Something happened. Or maybe the taxi people like unionized. We're like, fuck this thing.
Just shooting fucking kekes. That's right.
Okay. The final question is when Nigeria, like, who is the butt of jokes in Nigeria? Like, when Nigerians talk shit, is there one person that's usually the butt of the jokes, or is it just another tribe internally? Like, oh, this guy's Igbo, or this like I always say that Sudanese talk shit about Egyptians talk shit about Sudanese. Eastern Europeans talk shit about each other all the time.
Yeah, I guess that's a hard one to answer, because I'll say this though, like, I know in Nigeria everyone sees Igbos as like money hungry, which is, I don't see. I'm half Igbo, so I feel like. And
you asked me for 10 for you to come up here, so that's Igbo as fuck.
You better email more, transfer me my appearance money,
I'll
bro.
give it to you in a month, cash.
No, but I think that like Igbos are money hungry, and then Yorubas are super smart. I don't know, they're just like nerds. In a way.
Also, so like when you want to make a nerd joke, you'd be like, this guy's a fucking...
a Yoruba guy, too educated. He knows too much.
But do they have the best jobs?
They're pretty smart. Yeah, they have the best jobs.
Are all the doctors Yorubas and stuff?
Mostly. Yeah.
And all the bankers Igbos? And the entrepreneurs?
I'll say it's mostly being Yorubas. There's just like people in high positions are mostly Yorubas because they're the most dedicated.
Yeah, like the
but
most
in
well-read.
terms of trade, like if you want to go to the market,
like
shopping
who's the
and
best
shit.
with their hands?
Oh, Igbos. Hands down. Easily Igbos.
No pun intended, huh?
Give hand jobs, bro. Good at
Yeah, Igbos are the masters.
The masters of hand jobs, bro.
Happy endings.
All the happy endings are just Igbo people.
So who's all the cops and the authoritarian people?
I think Yorubas are the ones in positions of that need some. So if you have to study to get in the position,
gotcha.
Most likely you're a Yoruba person. If you just have to know business, like trade, how to converse, Igbo.
And what about the biggest people?
Like swole, like
the most these
people. I'll probably say Igbo people.
Igbo? Okay,
Igbo
it's just such a big population. You guys have a lot of traits within it.
But there's smaller ones.
That's jokes. I gotta go to fucking Nigeria, bro.
We
gotta do an African tour before we die. Hopefully that shit will actually be like. It seems like you could only pull it off if you're Chris Rock level, but hopefully it'll be like available for 200-seat tours. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like you could
Nigeria
definitely have a show of
Nigeria,
like
Ghana,
people.
South Africa, Egypt. There's a list of countries you're fine.
Yeah.
Sudan, we'll see where they're at. I'll
go to Sudan though. I think I'll go anywhere in the world.
As an African?
As an African, I'll go anywhere in Africa. I don't want to go. I personally never want to visit Australia. I don't know why.
I will.
It's just a place I'm just like, I don't know why I'll be there. I don't know. I just don't know why. I just get that vibe of like.
I want to.
It seems chill. I have friends there.
Yeah, Melbourne's supposed to be sick. And there's a lot of listeners. Shout out to Australia. Sudanese are.
You might never see me.
Australia will let Sudanese in.
Australian would. But that's another. That's another podcast, bro.
Okay,
Australia and immigration, another whole podcast, bro.
That's like they're trying to forgive themselves for how they decimated the indigenous.
Oh right? And also if you go, you suffer. Like it's a whole other thing. You're not like I don't know. You're
like a second-class citizen.
Second-class citizen.
Really?
Off top, yeah.
Really?
Every immigrant I know that's been there told me that. So
really,
it has to be. It has to be. That's my understanding.
I had no idea.
Yeah, bro.
Well, anyways, bro, let's fucking land it on that, man. On Australia's fucking class system that I had no idea about.
Yeah, bro.
Tell me about that shit.
About the Australian class system?
I got to wrap this up and get out of here anyways.
I'm going to give you a quick one-sentence synopsis. They have a very deep history of like racism, especially because the way they treated the indigenous people tells a lot of how they treat immigrants.
Like annihilated them. Genocide.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a fucked up.
On a way that made Canadians go, damn take it easy on those niggas. Yo, shit.
That's what I'm saying. Australians, they went ham. Yeah. So, I mean, based on that alone, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. But they did send all the criminals there first.
Yeah, they sent criminals to go kill indigenous people. That's fucked up.
Yeah, right? That's a movie right
That's
there.
A film.
That's a
like
film
a bad
right
film
too. Yeah. But anyways, bro, This has
Yeah.
been a fucking pleasure. Look into the camera. Tell the people
Yeah.
where to find you, doggy.
Oh shit! Just find me on the internet. I don't know how much. I have Kobe Jones on Instagram. I don't really use social media that much, but COBYJONESER. I'm
Or
always
just-
posting funny stories, I guess.
And your whole fucking filmography's on
We got film.
ConradOsei-Bonsu.com,
Yeah,
right?
I'm trying to write a few things right now, so no publishing yet, but give us a few months. We'll be out with something. Go check out everything. Just follow me on Insta. You see where the world leads me, you know?
We finally finished the treatment for our web series.
Not
so
working.
we're just about to fucking fire off those emails
Hey,
and
if
get
you-
some nice rejection emails. You know what I mean?
Hey, if you got money too and you're trying to make a big TV show,
Yo, hit us up.
Hit us up,
ImmigrantSection@gmail.com. Yo, from my end, as always, support the show directly at patreon.com/The Immigrant Section. Bonus episodes, street interviews, a bunch of extra shit. But thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed, brother.
Likewise,
Thank you
bro.
for
Good-
coming up.
Good
I
chat.
hope you come back out here soon.
Always.
Reach the studio, my
gotta
guy.
come.
Thanks, as always. Peace.